right, guys, Greene here with Green Light Life Growth. Thank you all once again for tuning into my YouTube channel. I wanted to come to you all and drop some more information. As I promised you, you all kind of know the routine. In order for this thing to grow and in order for me to keep giving you all free information and slight gems here and there, I need you to definitely hit the like button if you like what you're hearing. Hit the subscribe button so you can be in tune with everything that I do. Also hit the notification bell so you can be first to see exactly what it is that I'm doing. And also please share. This information is for pretty much any and everybody who's interested in it. Even if you don't see value in it, please share. Once again, my name is Greene. Green Light Life Growth is the name of my company. And today I want to speak about credit history. A lot of people don't quite understand why credit history matters and the importance of credit history and what difference does it make, right? Now, that's kind of why I created the page. I want to answer some questions that are frequently asked and that I think that most people who don't fully understand credit may not understand why this particular data point matters. And credit history kind of ties into the situation and the reality of credit diversity. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of intertwine the two. But let's just start with credit history. Why does it matter? Why do you want to start trying to build credit as early as you possibly can? As I always tell people, think like the bank. In this particular situation, I want to use the analogy of think like an employer. I think that a lot of people that's watching this have had a job before, even if you haven't. I think that you kind of at least know some things about how employers choose employees. And honestly, if we just want to talk about life and generally speaking, the same thing applies. History matters. Okay, so when I say think like the employer or think as if you were an employer, you have one candidate. This candidate has been working for 15 years. They've had 3 or 4 different jobs. They've stayed at these jobs consistently for 2 to 3 years at a time. And then you have this candidate, and this candidate has never really had a job before. In the one job that they had, it only lasted 2 years, and that's the longest that their working history goes. How that applies to the bank and the lender. If you go to a lender or you go to a bank or you go to somebody to borrow some money or take out a line of credit, they're going to want to know, how trustworthy are you? How long have you been doing this borrowing and paying back on time? Your credibility, your credibility matters. Would you rather loan somebody some money, or in this case, would you rather hire somebody who's been working for 15 years consistently, has never got fired, has always done their job to the highest of their ability, has always respected the companies that they work for? Or would you rather take a chance and go off of this one person that's saying they're this, that, and the third, and this is why you should hire me? I think that we could all agree you're going to go with the person who has the longer resume of working. That's the exact same thing that it comes down to when we talk about credit. And that's the exact same reason why credit history matters. Lenders are looking at, how long have you had credit cards? How long have you been paying on time? See, I like to always tell people, when people always get it twisted, they think in their mind it's some type of shortage of money and shortage of cash. No, the banks have long money. They have money. Every person who comes to the bank every day and puts some of their money in the bank and lets it sit there, that's the same money that they loan out to somebody else. And with that being said, you got to also think like the bank. If I'm taking somebody else's money and I'm loaning it out to another person, and if I cannot pay these people back, then I know that I'm gonna go out of business, and I know that I'm going to owe all of these people money. I don't really want to take my chances dealing with an individual who doesn't have a history of paying back money on time. And I gave you another little gem that a lot of people probably missed. But if you did miss it, yes, when you put your money in the bank is not sitting there holding on to your money and never ever using it to do anything else. Let me explain to you how banks make money. Banks make money by taking the money that you put in there. For example, let's say you put in $10,000. We will go very small scale. I don't want to make it too confusing. I want to make it very simple. I want to get directly to the point. You put in $10,000 in the bank. You just got paid. It's your paycheck. You got $10,000. You put it directly in your bank account. You want to go and take out that money. That money may not be available for you to take out at one time. You have to set up an appointment. You have to explain why you want the money. I understand that it's your money and you just put it in there, but the reason why they're doing that is because the money that you put in there, they took it and they loaned it to another person. And when they loaned it to that person, they put an interest rate on top of it just to cover their behinds, because if this person that they loaned the money to doesn't pay them back, they're still responsible for recouping you with your money. So that's where interest rates come into play, which is another reason why you want to have a long credit history, because you've proven that you're trustworthy enough to where they can say, okay, well, instead of me charging them 25% if they default, AKA if they do not pay me back, I can charge this person 1% or 2%. They're trustworthy. They have a long enough history for it to be 2%. So let's say you fall on hard times or something does happen, the money that you're paying back on your line of credit or your credit card bill or your auto loan or your personal loan or whatever the situation is, that's going to go, as long as you haven't paid the balance in full, the money that you pay them is going to go towards your interest. It does not go towards the principal balance. The principal balance is exactly what you borrowed. You borrowed $5,000. If you owe them $4,500 for too long and they start charging interest, all the money that you spend every time you want to pay back is going towards your interest. It's not going towards the initial $5,000. So to avoid that situation and to avoid paying high interest rates and getting into that type of situation, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you develop a long credit history. So when you go in to borrow, they're willing to give you 1% interest, maybe even 0% interest for the first 18 months. That means you borrowed this money and you have 18 months to maybe not be able to pay off the total balance, and they won't charge you a single dollar in interest because you've proven historically through your lines of credit that you are going to pay them back and you have a good reputation. And that's why your credit history matters. They're also willing to give you more money. Once again, it's not a shortage of money in the banks. It's a shortage of qualified applicants that can get approved for the money. Yes, the bank will give you $50, $75, $100,000 to start your business if you have a long enough credit history, which is one of the data points that matters. Credit history and on-time payments is a data point that's very important. It's 30% of your credit score. So you want to be sure that I don't care if you get a credit card for $27, $50 here, I don't care how many credit cards you need to get, but you need to start developing your credit history. That's why credit history matters. Thank you all for joining in with me. I have a whole bunch of more topics that I'm going to talk about, but today I wanted to talk about credit history. I just posted a video on my IG. My IG page is ML Greene 301. That's MLGREENE 301. Go follow me on Instagram. I have some other gems and some other tips on my Instagram page. But thank you for tuning in my YouTube page. This topic was about credit history and why credit history matters. Go get you a credit card now. Start developing your history now. Don't wait. You don't have to wait 7 to 10 years. You don't have to wait until this, that, or the third. Go start developing your credit history now. Thank you for tuning in. ML Greene, Greenlight Life Growth. Never let them tell you no. It's always a go.